Hey, Scott here. Hope you're well. Okay, a few things played out yesterday. It's quite nice. A few things, well, lots of things setting up for today. So I've got lots to go through. Let's get stuck into these charts straight away. I'll show you what I'm seeing and see if you concur. Right. Get myself happening quickly. Right. Not there, no place. Let's go to the right watch list. Okay. Looking at Aussie Kiwi. It's been in an uptrend, broke the daily 50, pulled back to the daily 50, sort of zone, just broke it and then broke back through it again. And then a really strong day yesterday on the Aussie news. So Aussie news played a big part, but we'll get into that exactly what it's looking like. Okay, the reason I've got this one here is because DDP looks really good, and it's setting up for a nice looking pip snatcher or an ACBB, as in a break away from the 4-hour 50, pull back to the 1-hour 50. But I don't like it because of this Big MACD divergence. So that's telling me if it pulls back, it's probably not going to go to a new high. So I am going to get rid of that one completely. Just want to show it to you because it looks interesting on the daily. And it's very common with a lot of the Aussie pairs. Big news higher run yesterday, and then all falling flat on its face. Aussie dollar. Again, we've got a strong run. It was kind of pausing before yesterday's news, and then it shot up again. And here we have, at the moment, we have a nice looking pip snatcher, or yeah, probably pip snatcher with the anyway here. But you'll be trading through what's looking like a double top, Big MACD divergence. So I would personally, what I would do is I'll put this as a one for later on, but when it breaks the hourly 50, pulls back, it tests it, and then we go short. So we're going to take this as a short trade, not long, as is suggested by the DDP. So that's where the DDP can catch you out sometimes. The lower time frames can give you more, but be aware that it may well not just turn around today. It may take a doji today to give nice acceleration and a short day tomorrow. Okay, let's go to CAD Swiss. Pull back to the daily 50, and this strong level we talked about yesterday, pulled short nicely yesterday, and then we're expecting that to continue. So if we look at this, well, we've got our breakdown below the 1-hour 50 on the 1-hour chart here, but it didn't pull back, hasn't pulled back yet. So the 4-hour 50 is here. Fibs line up pretty well for a nice CBO. So if we get a pullback to the 4-hour 50 or the 1-hour 50 catching up, we've got another 6, 7, 8 hours till the UK session opens or gets underway with good volume. So that gives plenty of time to pull back, and that'd be a really nice looking CBO. So that's probably one of the plays of the day. Euro CAD. Euro CAD, we've got bullish strength up to these highs, and we've just broken through them. Is that going to continue? Set the RSI. It's very overbought. It's very, yeah, it's not overbought as such, but it's definitely getting close to it. We've got a MACD divergence still in play, so be aware of that. So what are we looking at on the 1-hour chart? We've got a nice jump up yesterday and a pullback, and that's looking like a nice pip snatcher. Now the MACD looks good. Everything looks good except for the daily chart with MACD divergence. Maybe that's not a big issue because we've had a big kind of reset down here, but we are playing with this strong resistance level. So I'll put that on the secondary. There are some really good plays out today, so we can be a bit choosy. Right, Euro pound. It's hit a level, it rejected it yesterday. And the pound's been looking weak recently, and its level is pretty strong, it seems. Quite a few rejections. Rejection yesterday, room down to the daily 50 for a quick day trade. But we need some more setting up yet. If we get a pullback now, the fibs don't really line up. So we need to pull down lower, then pull back, and that can give us a nice CBO short down to the daily 50. So that's something that may set up later on. Look at that one later. Euro yen. So the yen's is breaking down as we expected from yesterday. And we've had lots of breakdowns. This one was pushing to go lower. And here we have, this is what I drew yesterday, which is pretty close. So we've got to pull back to the early 50, and it's now breaking down. So by the time you see this, you're probably too late. Probably already gone. Yes, okay, pound CAD. Pound CAD has rejected the daily 20 on the pullback, and this really strong trend line, which I warned you about yesterday. Bullish day yesterday, maybe that's going to continue today. The hourly chart is giving us very strong on the MACD. We've got a breakout. If it pulls back to the 1 hour 50 and the pivot, that's a nice little pitch snatcher. Quick 1-to-1. Be nice. Possibly an ACBB, but the highs are just here, so probably, yeah, pretty pitch snatcher is probably the way to go there. Kiwi Swiss. Rejecting this level, which we talked about yesterday, and a very bearish day. That's nice. To get that to continue a little bit lower. So we've broken the 1 hour 50 on the 1 hour chart. We've hit the 4 hour 50, so we're looking for an IBOC. We tested the 4 hour 50, so it pulls back soon. We will have that as a nice IBOC. We could even, what's going on here? Oh, because I have the joint all pressed. Okay. So if we did actually do the fib from here, it lines up perfectly with the pivot. That's probably a better one actually. If that pulls back in the next few hours, that could be a nice pip snatcher short, or a IBOC short down to the daily 50. So that could be a nice looking one as well. Kiwi yen. Rejection of this trend line, really strong, this trend line. It's proving itself every single time we come across it almost. And we've got a very bearish day yesterday through the daily 50, expecting that to continue short. And on here we have a fibs line up really well with the 1 hour 50 if it pulls back in the next few hours. And that'll give us an ABC correction. Well, it's a bit of complex pullback. Give us another IBO, again an IBOC, because the 4 hour 50 has already been tested. Trading through the daily 20, but we're trading out of the 2050 zone, so happy with that. And we even trade down towards these lows. There's a nice bit of profit to be made there. So that's a nice looking setup. That's probably one of the favourites of the day if it pulls back for us. Kiwi dollar. Kiwi dollar, rejecting that level we looked at yesterday. Just not a great candle, but definitely a bearish one. Looking for that to continue short today. And it's a bit messy, but we can see that it has broken the hourly 50 and then pulled back to it. And then if we expect that now to continue to break lower, we'll see how that plays out. It's right on the entry about now. So we'll see. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, we rejected this level. Very bearish day yesterday. Are we oversold? No, we're not oversold at all. It's looking okay. There's a MACD there. It's been there for a while, but it's just not really doing anything, is it? It just keeps on trundling down. So we're looking for a bit more bearish action. I'm not pushing our profits too far, but the hourly chart looks nice. We have a break through the hourly 50 and the 4 hour 50. If it does pull back soon, maybe about now-ish, a little bit further, but lower before the pullback. We've got another Elliott wave, wave 1, wave 2 pullback. This is a big wave 3. This will be a wave 4 pullback to the 1 hour 50, and treat this as a CBO because the 4 hour 50 is pretty close behind, depending on when this entry actually sets up. It could be a nice little CBO, and then trade down to these lows. And it could be a nice little trade as well. Dollar yen. quite a yen theme in today. Again, we've got a bearish action yesterday, expecting that to continue today. It's breaking down. We need it to pull back to the 1 hour 50 and the 4 hour 50 and the 382, and that could be a nice little CBA short if that does manage to pull back for us. Trading down to plenty of lows to aim for down here. You may want to do a fib extension on the wave 3, 0.618 extension to see where that leaves, and you probably find it's only about here somewhere. So you still might get 2% out of that one. I'll quickly go through these other ones which are playing a little bit later, possibly, maybe into tomorrow. Aussie CAD, again, we had a really bullish day because of the Aussie news, but the MACD is telling us a different story. It turns it's going to break down. Maybe we'll get another quick bounce, the lower high first, but when it does break the 1 hour 50 and its trend line, we'll be looking for that to go short. Aussie Swiss, very similar. Bit more of a high test, which is looking more like a candle to go short. And if it does break the 1 hour 50 pullback, then that could be a nice little short trade, maybe even today. CAD yen. CAD yen wanting that to go short with a bearish action yesterday, and hopefully that will continue today. And we've already broken the 1 hour 50 and pull back, so if you got into that trade, that's really nice. Otherwise, we're waiting for the 4 hour 50 to be retested, which it kind of has already, but we haven't had a decent CBO. So if it does break down lower and then pull back to the 4 hour 50 with 1 hour 50 catching out, that could be a great CBO short. Here Aussie, again with the Aussie strength stroke weakness appearing. We're looking for it to go long, break this trend line, break the 1 hour 50 pullback. It could be a trade long, maybe late today or probably tomorrow. And pound Aussie will be very similar. A bit more of a low test, so it's looking better for a bullish day soon. Bullish action, and we've got a retest of 1 hour 50 almost. So a test of 1 hour 50 to break through that, pull back to retest. We can take a trade long. Wow. A lot in there. Hopefully it wasn't too quick for you. Yeah, good luck with that. Hopefully you snag 1 or 2 or 3 of those lovely looking setups. All the best. I will catch up with you tomorrow, Fridays tomorrow. And yeah, all the best in the markets. I'll see you then. If you're not a member of ProTrader, scottprotrader.com, free training for you. Find out what this is all about. See how these skills can change your life. Wish you all the best. I'll speak to you soon. Take care.